Okay, Catherine, got your work up here. So you got the background by Laszlo Moholy-Nagy, and that's fantastic. So you're showing Bauhaus, then you're showing the quote by Paul Rand. So you're effectively creating a comparison and contrasting the work of American modernists to the Bauhaus movement, which, as we have learned in class, is a direct correlation. So great job there. Couple of a couple of recommendations or comments. I'm okay with you cropping the work. This is not the whole composition. I think that if we, but that's okay. I think it's okay. Now, the circle is part of the composition, as we know, and I think that you did a good job deciphering a place to place the type. That's a good idea. But I think that we can do something a little more interesting. Right now, if we take the page, we go Command R, we see you have a 12 by 6, 12 by 9 spread, 6 by 6 page. So I'm going to just draw a guide right to where the fold would be. And we can see as a composition, a 2-page composition, we can see that this is relatively imbalanced because the actual painting itself rests to the left side of the composition, and so does the heaviest part of the painting. It's the way that you have cropped it, and that's that circle right there. So by placing the type on top of that circle, you're really taking this whole composition and making it kind of topple this way. But if we put a little teeter-totter right here, fulcrum, we would see that this would be the heavy kid, and this would be the light kid, and then we'd go like this to this side. For that reason, I think we could take this type here and recompose it maybe right over here. I think the type is too large. I do. I think it's too large. I think that you could recompose this type. One of the things I'm seeing with the type is that it's really, really super heavy. So I think this Bauhaus typeface might be a mistake. I would go with a regular maybe Helvetica or something in the modern sans serif family, Universe, something from the Universe typeface, Futura, Gill Sans, any one of the sans typefaces should work just fine. So basically what you have here is I don't know this quote, but this should be art, not burr art. This says design can burr art. So that's a typo right there. So design can be art. So is that a period in the quote? Design can be aesthetics, period. Design is so simple, comma, that's why it's so complicated. So I think that the cadence is really, really good. I want to show you one thing, though. It looks like this is out of alignment if I draw a guide right there, and no, it's not. It's an optical illusion, so that's okay. Good job hanging your quote. Really good job there. Very, very, very smart. The one thing I would suggest, though, is as I would take that quote, like I said, sans serif, and I would place it right here to even out the balance of the composition. Use a sans serif, not a bold typeface either. And then the last thing I would recommend is taking Paul Rand's name and placing it somewhere. Okay, if you're gonna left align the quote, what I would do is I would take the quote, I would put it right here, his name, I mean, and align it with the longest line, Paul Rand. Okay, and then set it over here. Might have to decrease that typeface height a little bit. You could lay it right over here, and you could actually even use the color for the typeface as sampling one of the colors out of the painting itself. Probably this dark red. One of these dark reds would be the best. I think it would be the most suitable. I think the bright red would be too bright. The black is too stark. And I think that one of these colors for your type would incorporate the typography into the piece as opposed to laying the type over the piece. Hope that makes sense. All right. Again, fantastic job. But those would be my recommendations moving towards your final submission. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns whatsoever? Please give me a holler. Good job. Thank you.